In this video, I'll be giving you the top 10 tips and methods for getting experience points towards leveling up in Pokémon GO. Aside from Stardust, experience points are a resource you can get for just playing the game. Experience points are specifically there for leveling up your player character, which is probably one of the most important things you should focus on while playing Pokémon GO. There are a lot of things that open up for you as you reach higher levels, and you gain really awesome items every time you level up. Getting to the max level of 50 requires a ridiculous amount of experience points and will likely take a player months, even years to achieve. However, if you follow these 10 tips, you will speed up your leveling a tremendous amount and reach your leveling goals much faster. So this takes me to the first tip, and that is to plan ahead. The best thing you can do for yourself is to research upcoming events, community days, nest rotations, spotlight hours, etc. Occasionally, any of these will have experience bonuses that can help you level up at an expedited rate. Make sure you are up to date on all of these so that you do not miss out on any of these bonuses. It may be imperative that you always take full advantage of any of these experience bonuses in order to reach the maximum level. Speaking of which, if you are trying to reach level 50 from level 40, make sure you research what the level up requirements are for each level after 40. There are extremely tedious tasks that are required for each level, and it will be extremely advantageous for you if you are ready for them ahead of time. Some of the tasks involve raiding, Team Go Rocket battles, trading, etc. It would be good for you to prepare for these tasks by stocking up on raid passes and other resources so that you don't hit a wall while leveling up. Another thing you should do is to set yourself short-term and long-term goals. One of the best ways for you to motivate yourself from leveling is to set goals that you want to meet. If you just started playing the game, then set yourself a few short-term goals that will keep you on track. With long-term goals, set yourself a few dates for the higher levels. You can then use these goals to keep up with events and plan ahead. For myself, I set up goals for hitting level 40 shortly after I started playing the game. I started to see many of my friends hitting level 40 pretty early on, thus I set myself a goal to hit level 40 by a certain date. The closer I got to that date, I would motivate myself to push harder and play harder depending on how close or far behind I was from that goal. This may not be the biggest tip for getting experience points, but it is definitely a helpful one that many players may not realize. Now for the next few tips, let's go over some specific ways to get massive amounts of experience points. The first of these, and the third tip for this video, is with special in-game events. Just like I mentioned with the first two tips, make sure you plan ahead and set yourself goals with every single event, even if there isn't an experience bonus. What I tend to do with every event announcement is to do as much research as I can on the event to see where I can maximize my gameplay for more experience points. Is it a Team Go Rocket themed event? Then there will likely be more Team Go Rocket battles happening, which can be a great way to farm up experience. Is a new Pokemon making a debut? Then better pop a lucky egg at the start of the event for those Pokedex entry experience bonuses. Speaking of which, every time you catch a brand new Pokemon, you actually gain a hefty amount of experience points. So if a good amount of new Pokemon are released, typically around the time a new generation is introduced into the game, it is a good idea to have a few lucky eggs stocked up for you to use when you go off and catch all of the new Pokemon. The same thing goes for spinning new Pokestops and gyms. Thus, if you are planning to travel to a new city or area, make sure you have plenty of lucky eggs to use as you explore those new places. Something I like to do is pop a lucky egg right when I get off a plane at a new airport, because airports typically have a ton of Pokestops and gyms. Since all of these will be new for me, I can amass a ton of experience points within a short amount of time. Now the next method for getting a ton of experience points is one method that a lot of players tend to overlook, and that is research tasks. Now regardless if you are farming field research tasks or going through a special research, doing these with a lucky egg can net you a ton of experience. This is of course because most research tasks award you a huge chunk of experience points. Other than field research and special research, don't forget that your weekly research breakthrough also grants you a ton of experience points. You don't want to forget it. Doing as many field research tasks as you can throughout the day is a solid way for you to continuously gain experience. Aside from experience points rewards, simply catching Pokemon from those rewards can give you a constant stream of experience. Needless to say, you really shouldn't ever ignore doing your research. The next method for getting a ton of experience that I want to talk about is playing hard during community days. Now every now and then, the in-game bonuses for Community Day will be a boost to experience gains. Of course, during these particular community days, you should catch as many Pokemon as possible. You could also take advantage of the increased amount of active players in your local areas and complete a bunch of raids for added experience. Now in my opinion, you should go hard on community days regardless if the in-game bonuses are related to experience gains or not. This is of course because the conditions for getting tons of experience points are extremely good during every community day. Not only are there a lot more spawns during Community Day, but the catch rate is also much higher than usual for the spotlighted Pokemon. This means that if you are quick catching with excellent curveball throws, you will be able to get more catches per hour than you typically would, thus getting more experience per hour. Speaking of which, let's now talk about excellent curveball throws. If you didn't know, you can get up to 1,000 experience points for catching a Pokemon with an excellent throw. You can also get a bit more experience if you catch the Pokemon on the first throw and if you curveball. This is, of course, completely skill-based, and the difficulty of excellent curveball throws will vary with each Pokemon. Practice and patience is key. If you haven't locked down excellent curveball throwing, you should practice it as much as you can with pretty much every Pokemon you see on screen. One thing I like to do is look for Mega Nests and major cluster spawns and just practice as much as I can. Some of the Pokemon I suggest you practice on are Staryu and Wailmer. The reason for Staryu is of course because the red circle at the center of this Pokemon is a bullseye target for excellent throws. Use Staryu to familiarize yourself with hitting the ball dead center on the Pokemon every time. As for Wailmer, it is probably the easiest wild Pokemon to practice excellent throws on, since the catch circle is one of the largest. Now if you happen to come across a Wailmer Mega Nest with a ton of spawn points, throw on a Lucky Egg and catch as many as you can with excellent curveball throws. This will net you an obscene amount of experience points. This leads me to the next method for getting experience, and that is Spotlight Hours. Now much like community days, occasionally you will have a spotlight hour that will have an experience bonus, yet because of the high density of spawns, I suggest going for as many catches as you can regardless of the bonus. You can also treat spotlight hour as a means to practice those excellent curveball throws. Head to a cluster spawn location, pop on a Lucky Egg, and catch as much as you can. You'll gain a huge bump in experience every Tuesday. Now the next method is probably one of the simplest ways to amass a ton of experience points, and it is Wafu Raiding. In case you didn't know, Wafu Raiding is a type of chain raiding where you and a set group of players raid continuously for a specified amount of time by driving or walking to the next raid while you are completing a raid. This was popularized by Brandon Tan and King, with both of these players doing dozens or even hundreds of raids a day. The best time to do this is of course during special raid days. What you will want to do is have a group of several trainers in a car, have a navigator, and a highly populated town or city with a ton of gyms, and do as many raids as you can. For every raid you win, you get 10,000 experience points, and that is of course doubled with Lucky Eggs. Just to put into perspective how awesome Wafu Raiding is for experience, I was able to complete approximately 60 raids and more than 1 million experience points during the raid day portion of Pokemon Go Fest 2021. This is of course because we were Wafu Raiding during the entire day. If you are able to connect with a raid group and Wafu Raid consistently, you can reach the max level in no time. Don't forget that you don't have to leave the house anymore, as there are plenty of Wafu Raid groups that utilize remote raids as well. Since you could potentially raid all day with a global group, as raid times rotate across the world, you will most definitely want to look into this. Now, Wafu Raiding is not the only classic method for getting a massive amount of experience points. The next method I want to talk about is, of course, the tried and true method of mass evolutions. For any veteran player, they would most certainly be familiar with this method. It is one of the most efficient ways to get a ton of experience. While some players might complain it is time-consuming and mundane, many other players have integrated it into their daily routine. As you catch Pokemon throughout the day, you could end your day by using a lucky egg and evolving all the Pokemon you caught. This is a great way for you to have a steady source of experience points. What you will want to do is to catch as many of the basic Pokemon you come across, such as Weedle, Pidgey, Rattata, etc., and use the Pinap Berries to get as much candy as possible. Any Pokemon with a low candy cost to evolve will work. Once you've collected roughly 80 of them, pop a lucky egg and start evolving all of them. Now, even though evolving Pokemon with a lucky egg is efficient and a great source for experience, it is nowhere near the last method I want to talk about for this video. The absolute best way to level up quickly in Pokemon GO is without a doubt friendship bonuses. Most of the top players gain most of their experience through this method. In case you didn't know, you can get up to 200,000 experience points with a lucky egg every time you hit best friends with anyone on your friends list. If you can line up a bunch of your friends, you can get over 1,000,000 experience points off of one lucky egg. You should also line up when you hit Ultra Friends as well, as you can get 100,000 experience points with a lucky egg. As long as you keep up with leveling up your friendships and plan ahead and coordinate, you will for sure get most of your trainer levels this way. Keep all of your friends in close communication so that you can coordinate using lucky eggs for when you become best friends. It may take some work, but it is so worth it. So there you have it. These were my top 10 tips and methods for getting experience points towards leveling up in Pokemon GO. If there was anything that I missed, make sure you mention it in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here. With that, I am Count Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.